Welcome back to the Richard Sherman podcast. Another week of surprises, Mitchell. I'm wearing black because it's a black day for the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. Both teams took an L. I took an L. But you know what? There's hope.
Richard, I'm also wearing black in your honor, but I'm feeling pretty good over here in Detroit, Michigan. But Richard, we talked about it last week. We talked about it the week before then, the week before then, and the week before then. Any given Sunday. That has always been the motto, right, in the NFL. Any team can win on any given Sunday. And sure as shit, we saw it this Sunday. Your San Francisco 49ers took a loss. Your Seattle Seahawks took a loss. The Philadelphia Eagles took a loss. You know who didn't take a loss? My hometown Detroit Lions did not take a loss. But Richard, we've got to start in Cleveland with your San Francisco 49ers. I know you're going to take heat tomorrow morning, so let's just get it out of the way right now.
There's no heat to take.
What the hell happened, man? Come on.
I'm very impressed with how they played. They played a really good game. That defense is a legitimate contender. That's a legitimate defense, they're all time with some of their stats right now, how they've been playing all season, and especially in comparison to the pretenders we played last week. You know, the Dallas Cowboys were frauds. These were legitimate number one defense. And Myles Garrett is a legitimate defensive player of the year candidate, and that's disruptive. Jim Schwartz called a heck of a game. It was a good learning lesson, like I've said all year. I mean, sometimes you need a wake-up call. You don't want to go undefeated and get the wake-up call in the playoffs, because then it's too late and it's over. This team is going to learn from this. They responded to adversity. Brock Purdy played a very tough game. Had a lot of misfires. It was raining, muddy. He's dropping the ball slipping out of his hand. And when the team needed it down the stretch, he completed passes. He got the ball down the field, and they missed the kick. I'm sure Kyle Shanahan is feeling the same way. I'm feeling very encouraged, very good. The injury bug hit them. That's one thing that I'm sure he's concerned about. CMC went out with the injury. Trent Williams walked out in a boot. So you do got to address those things. Deebo Samuel had a shoulder injury that put him in street clothes in the second half. So those things are very concerning, but you look up at the game and you see a 3rd and 11 that's incomplete. And, they give him a unnecessary roughness call that looked like a clean hit, on the replay. Initially it looked like a clean hit, but whatever. It's the game of football. People make mistakes. They make bad calls sometimes, but Deommodore Lenoir, before he went out with a calf injury, was playing some really good football. He slipped on one play to Amari Cooper. But again, it's the same thing I said about the Dallas Cowboys. They have a number one receiver on this team. And he went up and made number one receiver type plays when they needed to have him. He made great plays, and you got to give him all the credit in the world. Randy Gregory had a sack in his first game. Nicholas John Bosa got a sack. So there were silver linings all over the place, but unfortunate loss. But kudos to Cleveland. Their defense is legitimate, and I'm sure San Francisco is going to make the necessary corrections to get back at it.
Well, they didn't lose to Deshaun Watson, Richard. They lost to P.J. Walker. And to your point, you touched on it last week, Amari Cooper is no joke, and he made some big-time plays for Cleveland down the stretch throughout the middle of the game. He put life into that offense. Like you said, it was raining. It was muddy. The elements were certainly in play in this game. Cleveland's got a hell of an offense, and unfortunately, the rookie Jake Moody did not come through in the clutch, had another missed field goal in this game. They spent a 3rd-round pick on Jake Moody in this year's draft. I mean, this is going to be a test for him because, as you know, Richard, kickers, it's all mental. And how he recovers from this, it's going to be telling.
Yeah, I'm sure Robbie Gould is sitting somewhere making sure that he's keeping his leg live, because they're not going to stand for that in the playoffs. If he continues to perform like this, he missed 2 field goals in a game, they will call somebody else up that is more reliable and that can get the job done. And, maybe he doesn't have the leg to get it from 57, but inside of 50, he was almost automatic. And he's still, I think it was 19 or 20 for 20 in the playoffs and didn't miss. So that's one of those things you're kind of concerned about, because it's a 2-score game and they missed 2 field goals. Cleveland missed the field goal, but again, Brock Purdy took them down the field when they needed it, gave him a chance, a 40-something yard field goal, chip shot, get it in. He missed it. It is what it is. You know, give Cleveland the credit they deserve. PJ Tucker threw 2 interceptions, but did enough to get the win. Kareem Hunt played good. Jerome Ford ran the ball really well. Martin Anderson had the interception. Brock Purdy's first interception of the season. Amari Cooper, we talked about it, 4 catches for 108. Some very dynamic plays. Huge play on a long. That might have been a second down or a third and long, but huge play, jump ball, got his feet in bounds, just acrobatic. Made another play where he got down the field, made a guy miss. You know, he played a good game, and they got to correct some things.